Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together, brought to you by the Turquoise Harmony Institute. I'm your host, Shabnam Palesa Mohamed, and it is my great pleasure to take you through the series of conversations with amazing individuals that the Turquoise Harmony Institute has brought together. To give you a little bit of context, for a number of years, the Turquoise Harmony Institute has brought people together from different backgrounds, different faiths, different walks of life, over its Ramadan Iftar dinners. But given the COVID-19 lockdown, and since we can't get together physically, the Turquoise Harmony Institute has decided to use technology to bring people together, to celebrate the essence of Ramadan, to celebrate and talk about Ubuntu and social cohesion and tolerance and love, and to reflect on its previous events where we were able to meet together in person. So welcome to the first episode of this series, Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together. So amongst the different initiatives happening around the world that inspire people who believe in social cohesion, who believe in Ubuntu or I am because you are, is a wonderful story of a community in Memphis in the US, where a Christian community welcomed a Muslim community that needed to build a mosque. Having come together through understanding and tolerance, the Christian community actually offered their premises in the church to the Muslim community for them to perform the Taraweeh prayers in Ramadan. And so began a long and lasting friendship, indeed, an example of how we should live together, and one of many examples around the world of people who are breaking barriers and deciding to live as one people, united in our diversity.
I'll never forget the morning that I saw an article about a group of Muslims who had bought 30 acres and were planning to build a complex. And this complex, this land, is going to be on Humphrey Road. When I saw that, my stomach kind of tightened up. They were going to be right across the street from us. My mind was just reeling, and I felt that ignorance and that fear. So I prayed. I said, Lord, what are we supposed to do?
The idea of Memphis Islamic Center started because we felt we needed a family life center, a place for people to pray and play, to socialize, and have a sense of community. It is a difficult time for Muslims in America. We did not expect to be welcomed. We thought we have to work hard.
Stand before God.
They were a long way from building anything on the land. I don't know how to reach out to these people at all. Don't know any of these folks. So I thought, well, let's put up a banner.
And one day we were driving by and we see a banner. And that banner says,
Heart Song Church welcomes the Memphis Islamic Center to the neighborhood. And I realized that what I was being led to do was find a way to love these people. There were people who were just terribly upset.
Me and my wife both were thinking about leaving the church because I just did not accept what was going on.
Lord, we are so humbled that you would choose us.
I went to Pastor Steve and asked him, I said, what are we doing? He told me to read the Gospels. When I read through those Gospels, and I figured out it was a sickness in me. That was the problem. In a sense, I was the problem. What was going on with the world today? I was the problem.
and then we started building. The month of fasting, the month of Ramadan, was supposed to be our grand opening day where we start praying here, and it was clear that we were not going to have our hall ready.
We got a call, and Bashar said, we just wondered if we could use your building for our prayers.
In case we don't get our permit. in time. We may use it for a few nights, and I'm praying we don't have to.
And I said, okay, you pray that way. I'm going to pray that you have to come in, at least for a few days. Because I just think it would be great for our people, and it would be great for your people.
Instead of using the room for a few nights, we ended up spending the entire month of Ramadan at Heartsong Church. Ramadan brought us much closer. People started knowing each other on a personal level.
We had done coat drives and food drives, and close to 9/11, we do a blood drive together. One year it'll be at Heartsong, the other year it'll be at MIC. So Muslims and Christians are giving blood together.
We decided to do a combined Thanksgiving dinner. Every spring we get together and Heartsong folks will come over here and we'll have the spring picnic. It became a movement.
You need 2 plates?
No, just one. I would have never thought that I would be friends with Muslims right here. And I love it. It's kind of like my world got bigger.
How's everybody doing today? Well, cheer louder if you're having fun.
We are a better congregation now. We are better people because of this friendship with Heartsong.
What's the next event?
The biggest surprise to me is that now my life is so very changed. It's an amazing friendship that I can't imagine having missed out on.
Did you ever wonder what Ramadan is like in Iceland? Well, we found out. We had a conversation with Muhammed Emin, a Masters of Sociology student living in Iceland and also a storm chaser. Let's find out about Ramadan in Iceland. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ramadan Conversations, Stronger Together with your host Shabnam Palesa Mohamed for the Turquoise Harmony Institute in South Africa. Today we're in conversation with Muhammed Emin all the way from Iceland, and it's been a fascinating pre-interview conversation with him. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy the conversation we're about to have with him today. Assalamu alaikum Muhammed Emin, welcome to Ramadan Conversations, Stronger Together.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's nice to have me here. I really appreciate your invitation and nice to see you guys.
Thank you for making the time. Let's start here. Tell us about yourself, what you do, what your interests are, what your hobbies are.
Yeah, my name is Muhammad. I'm 26 years old and I was born in Denmark. I moved to Iceland in 2013 and I learned Icelandic between 13 and 14 before deciding to study at the University of Iceland. And I started studying in the University of Iceland in 2014 in sociology, bachelor, which I finished. So now I'm actually on my last step of my master degree, finishing up hopefully around autumn.
That is amazing. Really, really interesting. I've never spoken to anyone who lives in Iceland before, but I can see why you would find storm chasing very interesting. So how did you end up in Iceland and what's it like living there?
Well, it's actually, I was pretty young compared to the fact that you're moving away from your family to another country. I was only 19 years old. The thing is that when you finish high school in Denmark, it's kind of a trend that you study abroad. I have friends who decided to study in Germany, France, Australia, and so on. I already had some friends who were here in this country, and they were recommending me to come and just try to see if I would like the country. And I'm like I'm pretty fast at taking decisions, and when I want to do something, I of course think about it very thoroughly. But when I decide to do something, I'm quite stubborn. So I thought about it for a couple of months. Iceland, extreme weather. Well, I like that. It's a new country. No one has been there before, at least not from my environment. And you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I thought so. I ended up in the country, and I have since then never regretted it. It was kind of like a culture shock because I come from Copenhagen, and you have the shawarma bar and the shawarma restaurant is just in the end of the corner, and then you have the barber, your own barber here, and you have a lot of it's like it's kind of like it's very multicultural in big cities like Copenhagen. So it's kind of like a culture shock when I came here. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm the only I'm the only black sheep among the white sheep, and so on. So like, kind of like an experience, but I got used to it. I mean, this is a very small society, and the simplicity is really what makes the society so good. Everybody knows each other. It's very homogeneous. And been here for a couple of years, 6 years now. Well, time is running, and I never regret it. It's such a nice country, so nice people, and I'm also very much occupied voluntarily. I do a lot of volunteer work, dialogical work, intercultural, interreligious work. We're working well between the Muslim community, the Jewish community, the Christian community, and yeah, these things are really keeping me occupied.
That's wonderful to hear that you've moved there, you've made the most of the experience, and you're involved with interfaith work, which is so important and so much a part of what the Turquoise Harmony Institute actually believes in. How is the people's relationship with faith in Ireland? And tell us more about the interfaith activities.
Absolutely. And people here are very open-minded, very kind, and very curious too. I mean, it's not very long time ago that we got the first immigrants to this country, so people are very curious about new cultures, and what language are you speaking, what kind of food are you eating, and what kind of culture are you practicing, and tell me more about your religion, why are you fasting, and so on. So people are very open-minded and very kind and very open to this dialogue that we so often try to conduct here in this country. We have been doing lots of projects with the church. We have among our best friends are priests and people who are voluntarily working in the churches. Recently, we did for 1 week ago, we did like a pray together against COVID-19 project, where we had like a live Zoom conversation between the rabbi, the imam of the first mosque of Iceland, the priests, and our chairman of the association that we are running here, and it went very well. And we are quite well known in this society of promoting this dialogue and trying to create a peaceful society, because as we know, and as you also might be very well aware of the experience you might have gotten, is that lack of knowledge is what creates hate, and we need to go and touch each other, get into conversation with each other, dialogue, interaction, and so on, to break this ignorance that might appear in every single human being. So that's why dialogue is so important.
Absolutely agree with you. In South Africa, we have a concept called Ubuntu, which loosely translated means unity, or in full, Umuntu gumuntu gabantu. It means I am because you are because I am. How important it is, do you think, to teach that to our little children at schools, in communities, in religious spaces, and everywhere really, to transform our world?
I'm a Danish teacher, an English teacher in one of the elementary schools here in Iceland. I actually recently got a job of being a teacher here, and carrying the name Muhammed is such a big gift. I mean, because you can really make changes. Now, when people, we have a lot of those, unfortunately, like stigma going on in the media, lots of prejudice. The media likes to sell their products by constantly trying to put a specific kind of people into their target. The stigma against Muslim minorities and so on. And it's in a country like Iceland, this is a global thing. So people here in this country are also very affected by these kind of things. So having the name Muhammad and carrying such a beautiful religion, and having be able to create positive changes is really something that I think is a gift. So of course I might be experiencing some kind of discrimination and so on, but I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as having an opportunity to fight against this kind of discrimination, which can only be done by love, by patience and love, by getting to know each other. So today, for example, I was beginning the English lesson, and I told them that I was fasting, and all the youngsters, they're 10th grade students, they got very curious, like, oh wow, you're fasting, so on. What is it about fasting, and could you tell me more about it? So and all the teachers are asking about it, and people are so, so inspired by the real concept of fasting, because fasting is not only about abstaining from food, but you're abstaining all your five senses. You are stop looking at things you're not supposed to look at, stop walking to places you're not supposed to walk to, and you're limiting your bad habits. And people don't know these kind of things, and they get very inspired, like, wow, I didn't know your religion was like that. And when I look at you and your behavior, you're representing something else than I thought previously. And so I see it as a gift that I am carrying such a beautiful name, and also such a beautiful and rich culture and religion that I can share with other people, and also welcoming their culture and learn about their culture too. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, that's beautiful, because, I mean, we are taught in the Quran that the Almighty made us in nations and tribes so that we may know each other. And this kind of
We all the
openness.
sons and children of Adam, really.
Yes.
So we all come from the same, great grandfather.
Great grandfather. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell us about Ramadan in Iceland. I know you're fasting pretty long hours. What's it like, and what's your average day like in Ramadan?
So Ramadan here in Iceland is quite special. One thing that I noticed when I came here for the first time was that we were breaking the fast during daylight, because the sun doesn't go down here. And that was a kind of a weird feeling, because back in Denmark, where I used to live, you were breaking the fast when the sun goes down, but the sun didn't go really down here, other than barely touching the horizon. So that was one of the things that really caught my attention when coming here to Iceland, that you're breaking the fast, meanwhile we still have the sunlight appearing. The second thing that really caught my attention is the unity we have here. We are a very small Muslim community. We are approximately 1,500 to 2,000 Muslims, and we are Muslims from all around the world. I mean, it's like every single continent. I think we are over 50, 60 countries in that small community, and there's such beautiful unity, such a good solidarity between people inviting each other. So usually, not looking at this year, but the previous Ramadan years, we were always visiting each other, inviting friends and families, and you always had this different kind of tastes in your mouth, because you are eating food from different cultures all the time. And there's nothing called that you are Arab, or you are Turk, or you are Kurd, or you are Somali, and so on, or you are Icelander, because we do have Muslim Icelanders in the community as well. Basically, you become one people, which is very beautiful. The third thing that I noticed here was that Icelandic people, they're very curious about other cultures, because immigration here in this country is pretty new. So people are very open, and they invite you, and you invite them to the houses, and we are inviting a lot of Icelandic friends to our houses and our place, and which is very much appreciated. So I think one of the most beautiful Ramadan that one can spend is a country like Iceland, because of its nature, its people, the unity, the love, the solidarity that is between people, and it's quite kind of amazing. And now I actually have some guests sitting here, and we never talk about, we rarely talk about the contradictions that we have. We always talk about our different culture in a very lovely way, like we are appreciating our culture, learning about each other's culture, and so on. So yeah, Ramadan here in Iceland is very special.
How has COVID-19 and lockdown affected your life in Ramadan and out of Ramadan? How have you been coping?
I would think one of the things that I think COVID-19 has really given us a lot of things to think about. And one thing is that we are not superior. It doesn't matter how comfortable we're living. It doesn't matter how stable our society is. Human beings can never be superior. That's one of the things that I personally learned about. The second thing is unity. As soon we have something dangerous coming outside, like some sickness or something like that, then I don't become Muhammed, and he doesn't become Olavush, or she doesn't become Julia. We all become human beings. We all unite and trying to do something in the name of the same interest, to protect the country. So unity has become as also something that really has given has come out from this pandemic, that to unite and to be together. So yeah, I mean, unity is one of the things that has really that's what at least has been taught us to stand together against this virus. I mean, now that we have just recently we have had this program, this Zoom live session where we had the rabbi, the Christian priest, and the imam, and we were praying together for the same God, trying to ask for limiting this virus and having the best outcome. And I think this virus has come with an intention, and we don't know what the intention is, but it has really giving the humanity like a small lesson and also time to think about things and, you know, to be together and to stand together as one humanity.
You know, I never thought, Muhammad, I mean, that I would actually ever want to visit Iceland. But from the way you've represented this country, I mean, it sounds like an amazing place. Alhamdulillah. Let's close off here. Would you like to send a Ramadan greeting to all of the Muslims in South Africa? What would you say to them?
Well, okay, then I will say following. Lots of greetings from the northernmost capital city of the world, Reykjavik, Iceland. The temperature is pretty comfortable here. We are enjoying the 10 degrees Celsius. Ramadan is not difficult. It's a blessing for all of us. And use your Ramadan as much as possible in the name of spirituality. Stand together and invite friends and families when you can. Don't break the rules about the COVID-19, but try to be together and try to do as much as you can to help the humanity, because there's a lot of people suffering around you. So lots of love and peace from the northernmost capital city of the world, Reykjavik, Iceland. We are only a few kilometers from the polar circle. It doesn't become dark here during the summer. And if anyone would like to come to Iceland, please come. It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful people, and it will be an unforgettable adventure for you guys. So lots of love from Iceland, Reykjavik.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for that beautiful message, Muhammad Amin, and for spending time with us today on Ramadan Conversations, Stronger Together. We wish you everything of the best with your studies, with Ramadan, with your community and dialogue work, and for representing Iceland so beautifully. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
The Turquoise Harmony Institute hosted a series of Ramadan Iftar dinners from 2006 up until today. We may not be able to get together in person during the COVID-19 lockdown, but we can refresh our memories and remember the wonderful moments experienced when people from different walks of life, different faiths, different backgrounds came together with the Turquoise Harmony Institute to celebrate Ubuntu, social cohesion, and unity. Let's take a look.
The teachings and the kind of example of this evening, where we have these interfaith evenings, is enormous. I myself am not a very religious person, but I must tell you that I've come here a few years now, and I'm very moved by this, because for me, if I were religious, this is what religion should all be about. It should be about tolerance, about how to find each other and not see the differences, and to find what is similar amongst us, to promote that, to encourage it, and really to play down the differences. And the most important of all of that is peace and tolerance.
That while this community of this evening is so wonderful, perhaps our biggest contribution is the responsibility we will show toward changing that young man and that young woman in our country, for them to really see that what is new in our country means a real difference for every South African, and particularly for the young of our country. So I urge you that in our future Foundation Iftar, we should consider inviting some young people to hear these messages and transmit them to the rest of the young persons of our country. Thank you very much for this wonderful dinner and for the contribution that the foundation makes to South Africa. Assalamu alaikum.
To spread this everywhere, you know, we've got to share it with everyone we know, and as Naledi Pandor said, with the youth, we have to encourage so that the youth have something to live for.
Every time I come here, I leave here full of spirit, full of hope. I don't know, there's a wonderful tranquility which the Turquoise Institute distribute here this evening. I think the work that's being done is awesome. The more we can get, the better. I really think it's fantastic.
Thanks for your time. I think it's been a very inspiring evening, and I hope that some of the messages that came out of this evening, I hope that it can be spread and disseminated.
And having all these religious leaders together, focusing on the same thing, to please God. That is most important. Because everybody pleases God, God blesses. And when He blesses the nation. And we are here as representatives of a nation. And thankful, that's all I am. Thanks.
South Africa has built up a proud tradition of tolerance and would be a great accomplishment for our communities to move forward, hand in hand, as friends. We could then send out a message to our greater communities worldwide that if we can do this in South Africa, then it can be done elsewhere. This message of peace, tolerance, and coexistence could start right here and now. We can rejoice in our differences and explore our similarities, and we can commit ourselves to moving forward. I, on behalf of the Jewish community, thank you for this invitation, and let us sow the seed of peace and growth here tonight.
What I can take home from this is the unity. Out of all the speeches tonight, the power of unity, how to implement this in society is the most important impact of tonight's dinner.
And I'm very grateful to the Turkish community for actually promoting something like this, which encourages us and supports us in this important work of interreligious understanding.
I enjoyed the evening very much, and I think it's fruitful. We need to come together and share ideas, share beliefs, share friendship, so that by sharing we understand each other, and when there's understanding, brotherhood and friendship can come into existence.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity to come together as different faith-based groups, but especially to recognize that which unites us, the similarities that we share through our faith, and to take that message forward to our communities and spread the message.
This type of thing is what we need really, not only in Cape Town or in South Africa, we need it all over the world, this type of thing. And since I've come to meet, the foundation, I think we've improved. And tonight, for example, I think we've got a number of very significant people here. People whom we should get, onto this dialogue here. Those who influence people in a big way. The ministers are here, some of the ministers are here, and I think that's it. I think the foundation is doing very good work, and I hope, inshallah, that they will carry on with this, inshallah, in South Africa.
I am deeply grateful for the friendships that I've made, for the relationships that have developed through this. And I think coming back to faith, Christians, Jews, and Muslims come from the Abrahamic tradition. And one of the key features is Abraham's willingness to move out into unknown territory in obedience. And it's that moving out of our comfort zones in obedience so that we can get to where we need to be that seems to me to be a profound thing from our fellowship here tonight.
So as part of Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together, we had a conversation with Enes, who is a Boston Celtics basketball player from the NBA. He's also a community activist and certainly a very inspiring role model to young people around the world. Let's take a look at what he had to say in Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Ramadan Reflections Stronger Together, brought to you by the Turquoise Harmony Institute with your host Shabnam Palesa Mohamed. Turquoise Harmony Institute has decided to move all of its Ramadan activities online, and so we've started Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together. Today we are in conversation with Enes, who is with the Celtics. He plays center for the Celtics, I believe, and we're very excited to be in conversation with him today. It's a great honor. We've done some research on him, and he's an amazing sports person and a human being. So Enes, welcome to Ramadan Conversations. Thank you for making the time for us today.
What an amazing honor. I really appreciate for this support, definitely means a lot.
You are most welcome. Let's start here. Tell us about yourself and your NBA journey.
My NBA journey, I actually started to play soccer in Turkey, like almost over 90% of the kids out there. But then just because of my height, I was always a goalie. So I started playing soccer and started playing basketball. When I actually started playing basketball pretty late. I was 14 years old. From the day one, my dream was become an NBA player. And one of the biggest reasons that I came to America in a young age, I was 17. I went to prep school here in Los Angeles. I wanted to get my education and go to play basketball at the same time. And then, I came here. I went to college with 1 year in Kentucky. Then I got drafted by Utah Jazz in 2011. And that was a dream came true. I played it the 3.5 years, then got traded to Oklahoma City Thunder. And played it 2.5 years, got a lot of success with that team, actually. Played with some amazing players. Then I got traded to New York Knicks. And that was an amazing atmosphere, one of the biggest probably market in NBA in America. And then I signed with Portland Trailblazers. We actually made the Western Conference Finals. And then this year, I'm playing for the Boston Celtics. And it's been an amazing season.
That's amazing, playing for the Boston Celtics. I mean, it's a dream come true. We understand that you are practicing Muslim. What role does faith play in your life?
A lot. I mean, because if you look at my whole life, what I'm trying to represent is my faith. What I'm trying to represent is my country, my flag, the people around me. But the number one thing is definitely my faith. And my faith and, my religion makes me a better person on and off the court, And because, I feel like, it's very important to just go out there and just live your faith without being embarrassed and with respecting others. I think that's the thing.
That's beautiful. I mean, I love seeing sports people who are Muslim and are just such wonderful examples of faith. It certainly is inspiring to non-Muslims and to other Muslims as well. But what's it like being a practicing sports person in the USA? And what's your team support like for you as a person of faith?
Always. I mean, I play in a 5 different team, and all my team, it's not just the team, my teammates, the whole organization, coaching staff, the trainers, and the whole fans just supported me throughout the whole my career. But one thing about my teammates, we are from different backgrounds, we are from different, colors, we are from different, religions or different cultures. But one thing we do is we leave our differences in the locker room and go out there and play one language, and it's basketball. So that's actually make us a better friend and better teammate out there. So it's just amazing to just see how much respect. When I say I'm Muslim, how much respect I get from all over the NBA and my teammates. Obviously, they have lots of questions. I have lots of questions for them. But I think one thing we need to do is really educate ourselves, because there's so many times that I sit down in my hotel room and start reading Bible and start reading Book of Mormon, start reading about Judaism. Because like once you understand people, you know, you can have a better communication with others. So like for me, it was very important to understand my teammates, where they came from, their mentality. So like, and then that actually, whenever they ask a question, I can answer them without hurting their feelings, without knowing anything, you know. So I think it's always it's a respect relationship with my teammates.
That's absolutely brilliant. I mean, when you think about sports people that have inspired the world, like Muhammad Ali, for example, and the kind of, you know, unity and love that he inspired, it's certainly sports plays a very powerful role. What do you think is the relationship between faith and sports? What's that relationship that just seems to be so beautiful?
Right. You can be from different religions, different backgrounds, or different whatever you believe in. Sports bring people together. See, like we can be from different, you know, skin colors. We can be from different religions, or we can believe in different things, but we can both cheer for Boston Celtics. We can both, you know, cheer for, I'm just saying, Liverpool. We can both cheer for some, you know, the different teams out the world. But sport to me means unity. You know, coming together. You know, trying to cheer for one thing, and sport is teaching us how to work together, how to cheer for one thing and have a one main goal. So definitely that is sport teaching us. And secondly, it is giving us a huge platform to share our message, whatever that message is. I hope something is good, but whatever that message is, you know, you can just go out there and just because of all the media and everything, you can just share your whole message with the whole world.
So faith is about unity and sports is about unity. That's absolutely beautiful. We know that you believe in empowerment projects, in uplifting the community. And when I was watching some videos about your life and the kind of work you do, it was really inspiring to see your work with young people in particular. I see the way they respond to you, and I can understand why. Why is this work so important? Why is it important to inspire young people in particular?
Many people, especially players, want to look back when they're done with their career and say, wow, I had an amazing career. I want to look back and say, I don't want to be remembered just by my name. I want to be remembered the work I have done for humanity. Because it's cool that you go out there and score 30 points and get 20 rebounds and having all the success. But the question you need to ask yourself, especially every day, is how many hearts I touched, how many lives I have changed, how many, you know, because like you go out there and have an amazing game, it is just on you. It's good, looks good on you, but you go out there and give back to the community, do some charity work, it is, you know, it's affecting millions. So it's a very unselfish move. The other thing is, especially our youth, we have lots of problems happen in our world because of uneducated people. So if we can educate our youth, we are going to have a better and brighter future. So our future is in our hand. So we are going to shape it. So it depends on how you want to shape it, because there's so many problems happening in our century because of uneducated people. So so that's why I feel like we need to go out there and just teach them about math, teach them about science, teach them about life, teach them about how to be a good person, period. And the only place that you can learn that is in a school. So that's why for me, my whole life, I have dedicated to our youth, because one day the youth going to become our president, going to become our lawyers, doctors, police, military, this and that. So that's why I feel like we really need to focus on that.
So what kind of activities do you do with these young people?
Well, one of my actually biggest projects is I'm actually opening up a charter school in America. Benjamin Franklin said is the best investment in our future is going to be with education. So that's why that was actually one of my dreams when I was even a kid, open up a school. But other than that, we actually are still holding the record about doing the most basketball camps, free basketball camps in one summer in 30 states, 50 free basketball camps. You know what? Whenever they come to basketball camps, we don't just talk about basketball. We talk about the confidence, mental health. We talk about how important education is, respecting others and parents and stuff. So For me, it was it's definitely amazing. The other thing, NBA does a lot of program under NBA Cares program. They're just going to a hospital, visiting, just schools or just dormitories, I guess, or just visiting, orphanages. Because when you're an MBA or when you're doing something, when you have a platform, you're an actor, you're a singer, you're football, basketball, whatever player you are, you have a platform, and all these kids out there are looking up to you. You're like a role model. So you go out there and do something crazy, do something wrong. All the people going to think that is cool to do, and they're going to follow your footsteps. But like you could go out there and do something good, give back to community, charity work, try to give back as much as you can. Then all the kids are going to follow your footsteps, and they're going to think that is cool to do. So like, it is, like I said again, you can inspire so many people.
It's wonderful to hear. Even in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, who I'm sure you're familiar with, has said the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world is education, and we absolutely agree with you on that. So now we're in Ramadan, and the days are long in the US compared to some other countries. Although almost the whole world is in lockdown, you're still playing basketball. What's it like? Is it challenging? How do you manage?
Well, so the years before, the Ramadan always come around game times, around practice time. So it was always tough. But now, just because of this pandemic, we are obviously, like everybody else in a whole wild world, we are stuck at home. Now, I don't want to say stuck at home because you're safe at home. So we are at home just waiting, but we still have those virtual workouts with Boston Celtics. They call us 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We having this like 45 minutes, push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and squats and stuff with our body weight. Because like we still don't know if the season going to continue or not. So when it's open, if it's open and safe to go, we want to be in the best shape possible.
It's a strange time because you've worked all your life, to be this person, the sports person, basketball. Now it's lockdown, the whole world has changed. And for sports people, you just want to get out there and play your game. So I mean, I hope that the lockdown ends soon. I hope that a cure is found and we can all get out there and just live our best lives. I know that, and I was watching this video, when you break your fast, there's a very special prayer that you actually make. Tell us about that, Enes.
It's important because like I feel like once you break because you fasted your whole day for just, first of all, to me fasting is understanding others, because we are in a good situation that we are having food, we are having clean water to drink, we are blessed to be in this situation, right? So like once you break your fast, you understand people who doesn't have all this stuff. I've been to many countries in that, like Africa. I went to Kenya, Mozambique. I went to some other parts in South Africa. Actually, not many people have the things that we have, so we should feel very blessed to have this. So whenever I actually break my fast, I pray for all those people out there who doesn't have what we have, and I try to just pray for humanity. I try to pray for our health right now. I think that's the most important thing for the whole world is health, and try to bring a peace in the world, love as much as I can for praying.
Beautiful. I know we Muslims believe that when we break the fast, our du'as are answered. So inshallah, all of your du'as, they must be answered. Now in South Africa, we have this lovely philosophy of Ubuntu, which basically means unity. I am because you are. It's absolutely beautiful concept. And I think that we should be teaching this concept in our schools everywhere. I mean, every religion and every language has another word for this Ubuntu, but it's basically the same thing. How important is it to teach unity and Ubuntu in our schools, in our places of worship, in our communities?
I actually came to South Africa. I think it was 3-4 years ago, and I actually told my manager, if I retire from basketball, that South Africa is definitely one of the places that I would just go and retire, because it was so beautiful. And then the people over there was just, just smiling and happy. They were just so like, I don't know, especially the kids, their eyes were just so bright, because like, some kids have all the toys and everything in the world, but they're still not happy. But the kids in Africa, especially South Africa, they were just so happy and smiling, having fun. I was like, this is what life is about, because smiling is definitely priceless. But I always say this and people laugh. Till Elon Musk find another planet to live, this world is what we have. So whatever we do, we need to make this world better together. So that's the key word, together. So we need to teach in the schools, in our houses. I feel like we should start first in our houses to teach our kids. And then, our schools or, mosques or other religious, wherever you're praying at, we need to teach our kids before everything, before religion, humanity first, unity first, togetherness first, and peace and love first, because that is the one thing that the most matter to our world right now. Because it's not us against them, us versus against them, it's us. That's it, So let's keep this together. And then I feel like now this pandemic happening, right? All this stuff's happening. This pandemic is teaching us we need each other the most, because we're gonna get through this together. It's not like, oh, it's this country has this country. No, it's all over the world, and we need to just hold hands and try to get through this together.
That solidarity is so important, and I think you would make a brilliant ambassador for Ubuntu. So if you decide to come live in South Africa, we'll have to appoint you an Ubuntu ambassador. Yes, absolutely. And how has the lockdown affected your normal everyday life? I mean, besides Ramadan, it's just in general, everything is just different.
Yeah, I gained a lot of weight. That's how it affected me. Because my daily routine was I used to go out and just play basketball, do some charity work. I was moving, but now just because of, I feel like at staying at home, you save lives. So I'm not complaining about it at all. But it's all you can do is literally just sit at home and just watch TV and just read a book or something. But this quarantine life definitely teaching me a lot. I feel like we always make excuses about how busy our schedule is. Oh, there's so many work, so many practices, games, homeworks, this and that. But now you have no excuses. I feel like do something good for your future. So I'm actually really trying to focus on reading. So whoever is watching us right now from that TV, if any kids are watching us, don't just sit on your Xbox and PlayStation, play video games for 6-7 hours. Right? So do something good. Actually trying to get some new hobbies. I'm actually, I remember my mom used to always tell me son, I'm not going to be there for you the rest of your life. So learn how to cook. I'm like, yeah, sure, mom, sure. But now it's it's even risky to order food from outside. So I am literally trying to trying to perfect my cuisines. And I'm actually trying to learn how to play piano, but my fingers are so big. I'm trying to pushing the wrong button and everything. But this time is very different, but use it for yourself. Use it for your future.
Use it wisely. Well, that's very interesting. What do you enjoy cooking and what do you enjoy reading?
So there's a lot of motivational books that I'm actually reading. There is one called Leaders Eat Less. So that's one of my favorite books. That's actually Coach Brad, our head coach, gave that to us. The other thing that when I'm actually trying to cook, I'm actually trying to cook everything. I'm not.
Right.
I cannot say my food's tasting really good. But it's I am trying to do the best I can, because my whole life there was someone there always cook for me, clean for me and everything. But now it's it's tough. But
it's tough.
Yeah, so I'm actually just trying to cook as much as I can and trying to get better at that, I guess.
And it's a sunnah as well. So, I mean, even if it doesn't taste fantastic right now, at least you're following the sunnah, which is the Prophet's example of doing the cooking, doing the cleaning. So 100%, alhamdulillah, it's great. We know you've been to South Africa, right? And you've told us some of what that experience was like. What do you remember? Is there anything else you remember about South Africa that just made you hopefully fall in love with the country?
I think once you get there, that Nelson Mandela's idea, his philosophy, his mission and vision was just so amazed me. It was definitely, I will say, it was definitely one of my idols. And I was in Africa. I'm not sure if it was in South Africa, but he has this big statue. Was it in South Africa?
In Johannesburg?
I think it was in Johannesburg. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I saw that. I actually have a picture. I actually have a picture right in front of it, because I think what he did for not just, so people are getting wrong. he did not just do it for Africa, he did it for the whole world. And there's so many people out there needs to look at him and take an example of his life, his not just his life, but his how he lived, how he sacrificed literally his whole life for just one thing. So that's definitely amazed me a lot. And when you come there, you can actually feel it. The other thing is, about the food was amazing. I enjoyed so much. I can't remember the names, but like I remember gaining. It was actually during Ramadan too when I came. So like whenever I break my fast, I was literally going crazy, and the food was so delicious. Other than that, people are like very nice, and hospitality was super nice. And I would, like I said again, when this pandemic is over, I would love to just go back and do a basketball camp there again.
That would be amazing. In one of our townships, I think the kids would really, really appreciate that. So inshallah, we'll put it up on our goals for next year, and it will happen. But speaking about goals, what is that one big goal that motivates you in your life? And no matter what happens, no matter what challenges you face, you just keep rising, you just keep moving forward.
So when you say, so there's lots of, distractions, there's lots of, up and downs. So you need to get yourself a motivation that whatever happens in life, you have to get up and start walking again. So you need one good quote in your life. So my quote, my whole life inspiration is the quote I love, and is live for others. So is like, okay, you're living a good life, you're living, you're in MBA, you're making this much money, you're doing this and that. But the question you need to ask yourself is, don't just do it for yourself, do it for others. Trying to spread your ability, trying to inspire as much as you can, and trying to, if you are not hungry, if you're full and your neighbor is hungry, that means it is on you. So I feel like just live for others. That's 3 words definitely changed my whole lifestyle, my whole vision and mission. So probably live for others.
It sounds like a great name for a foundation that you start one day. Live for others, inshallah. We hope so. So what is your advice to young viewers watching, who are going to be watching this broadcast and want to be a sports person? They want to play basketball, they want to play tennis, they want to play women's soccer, whatever it is. They look at you and they think, this is what I want to do because this human being has inspired me. What is your advice to them?
I want them to just get up and look at the mirror and say, if no one believes in you, believe in yourself. I think if you're playing a sport, just believe in yourself, having confidence, self-confidence is the most important thing. So it doesn't matter what your friend says, what your, maybe family says, or what your classmate, or it doesn't matter how much they make fun of you. Always believe in yourself, have that confidence, and set goals in life. And when you set goals, ask those goals from God, because that is the God that gives you those goals and those dreams. And always put your dreams in the highest. See, I lived in Turkey, right? And my dream was to become an NBA player. And I pray to God every day. And then I remember my first regular season game was against Los Angeles Lakers, against Kobe Bryant at Staples Center.
Wow.
Whenever I step on that court, my knees were shaking, but I'm like, hey, his dream came true. So it doesn't matter whoever told you this, if no one believes in you, believe in yourself that you can do it. It doesn't matter you are a girl, you are a boy, it doesn't matter what age. Just go out there, because you only have one life to live. So just don't be scared of anything. Just go out there, and the goal you need to set never ends. So my goal was to become an NBA player. I made it, but it never ends. Set another goals in life. Now my other goal is to become an NBA champion one day, inshallah. So never, once you reach that, your dream, your goal, put another one. So I'll probably say
self-confidence and faith and doing it for the Creator. Absolutely agree. I'm curious, because we're talking about young people and sports. What is the basketball scene like for females in the US, and particular Muslim females? Are they getting involved?
Yes, they are. It's getting more popular, and then I think whenever I see one of our sisters just not just basketball, joining any kind of sport, it just makes me so happy, because I feel like they need platform too. There's so many young girls out there are idolizing maybe Serena Williams, maybe, just one of like the top basketball players out there, or tennis players, or whatever. So like, why not we have a Muslim role model who's a girl? So that all our little sisters can idolize that person. So like, we need that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Women of substance for them to idolize. That's really important. And sports gives us that, women of substance, men of substance, people of substance. Just to round up then, what is your message, your Eid message to Muslims in South Africa, in the US, and around the world?
First of all, I want to say our world is experiencing something like it never experienced before. There's so many people out there losing their lives, losing their loved ones, business, and homes. And we need prayers the most, because there's so many people putting their life on the line so our world can get better and healthier. Nurses, doctors, healthcare workers. So I feel like what we should do is praying for all those innocent people out there, praying for all those, healthcare workers out there. That is the one. And then second, let's get through this together. Let's not judge. Let's try to bring compassion and peace and love to our world. So, this Eid, we probably would not going to be, because Eid means to me is getting together, friends and families, and celebrate it. But just because of this is happening, we cannot. So let's get through this together. So future Eids, we can celebrate it together. So it is all about us. It is all about in our hand. How do we want to shape our future?
How do we want to shape our future? Is the question we need to be asking ourselves before lockdown, during lockdown, and afterwards. Enes, Kanter, thank you so much for spending this time with us today on Ramadan Conversations. We are indeed stronger together, physically apart, but together in solidarity always. Thank you very much. And we want to wish you, from the Turquoise Harmony Institute and all of us in South Africa, all of the best with your career as a sports person, your community work, with Ramadan, with Eid, and we hope to see you soon in South Africa, inshallah.
Thank you, inshallah. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this first episode in the series called Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and we hope that you've learned something from the series and that you'll share it with other people who are interested in unity, in social cohesion, in respect, in tolerance, and love. You can look forward to the broadcast of this first episode and the ones to follow on the Turquoise Harmony Institute social media pages. That's at Turquoise HI on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. We look forward to seeing you for episode 2 of Ramadan Conversations Stronger Together.